Every immigrant must have the right to see fulfilled their needs in order to try to resolve problem and conflict. In my thesis, I chose to take care of a forensic interpreter who manages the phenomenon of immigrants involved in a dispute to allow them to speak and take justice without the problem of linguistic gap, overcoming cultural differences. The mediator is a social worker and through the right words and the right information try to break down cultural and language barriers. It doesn't have a well-defined profile. The fields in which can operate are many. Society is changing. It is increasingly open and multi-ethnic. So, in this context, born the figure of linguistic and intercultural mediator. A person must be able to mediate not only between different languages, but also between different cultures. To be a good interpreter, he must take into account the cultures of the countries where these languages are spoken, all the paralinguistic elements and the meaning of gestures. He also be an excellent communicator who knows how to use well voice and intonation. The linguistic mediator, furthermore, must create a working and cooperative relationship with the client. It must be said that the mediator, during the course of study, doesn't receive a highly specific training, such as in a healthcare terminology. He must always be available and open to new studies and updates. Unfortunately, in most cases, the interpreter are called without being put in a position to perform their jobs well. The forensic, linguistic, and cultural mediator is a figure well educated also in psychological and legal matters. There is a strong regulation that the forensic interpreter must follow. Only in the 19th, there is a need of this figure as a facilitator between society and immigrants. The need of the figure of the interpreter was born from the growing need for communication between people speaking different languages and belonging to different cultures, and very often in classes. It is not limited to a single interpretation of the language, but refers to a more complex cultural and linguistic context. The lack of border controls allowed development of huge migration with the consequent presence on Italian territory of people without a job and an high need. This condition makes the people subject to greater risk to commit criminal offences. By legislative decree of March 2014 entered into force a directive. To that end, the aim is to ensure the right of interpretation and translation in order to ensuring the right to a fair trial. Principal associations are AITI, Italian Association of Translators and Interpreters, a no-profit organization of professional translators and interpreters. More recently established is SCTIC, Italian Association of Translator and Judicial Interpreter. Founded in 2010, it is also member of EULITA, and today is the only Italian association represented in Europe. In these fields work other professionals like an expert. It's called expert a person with particular suitability to the knowledge of certain order of things. The progressive empowerment of deaf people increase the need for some tools that increase the right to social and cultural integration. The same language interpreter born from the desire of the deaf, by establishing a relationship with the community hearing. The presence of the linguistic cultural mediator is a big step towards international cooperation. The presence of the linguistic cultural mediator is a big step toward international cooperation. capable of guaranteeing to foreigners who travel to Italy for short and long periods appropriate assistance also in this field.